Hi, this is Dwayne, and some people ask me, why do I need to learn all those chord types? I mean, why do I need to learn 6th and 7th and 9th and flatted 9ths and 11ths and 13ths and minor 6th and minor 7th and major 7th, you know, all those chords? Well, the answer is you don't. You can get by with just the primary chords. In other words, you can harmonize so many songs with just 1, 4, and 5 in whatever key you're in, okay? And I'm sure you know that, okay? The primary chords can be used to harmonize most anything. Okay, but if you want a bigger sound, if you want a different sound, then you need to learn different chord types. And I'm just going to walk you through the chord types this time and describe maybe why you need to learn them. Okay, for instance, major chords. They're the meat and potatoes of music. Okay, you really can't get by without knowing major chords. They probably make up maybe 80%, 75-80% of all the chords you'll ever run into. And minor chords, and of course let me just play. Songs like that, they just use those primary chords, but they're all major chords, okay? Now minor chords are used to create a more somber sound. But even in a major key, you're only going to use the minor chords in a very small percentage of the time, maybe 15% of the time. Once you get past the primary chords of 1, 4, and 5, then the secondary chords are minor, but they don't occur near as much as the major chords, okay? But then there's about maybe probably about 15% of all songs written are in minor keys. Songs written in minor keys have mostly minor chords. It's not that they can't use major chords, and they do, but they're basically they're in a minor key. You've heard songs like that, okay? So the major and minor are the meat and potatoes and the side dish. Minor chords are like side dish, like corn or applesauce or something that goes with your meat and potatoes, okay? The other kinds of triads are augmented triads and diminished triads, and they're transitional chords. They're the salt and pepper at your table, if you will, okay? You don't build a meal out of diminished or augmented chords, okay? But you use them to spice up a song. You've heard this kind of thing. That's a diminished chord, and it's used transition. It's going from a major chord through a diminished chord to a minor chord. You've heard that. Those are diminished chords, and they're transition chords, okay? Or they can be used by themselves to create a spooky sound. A lot of movies, you've heard background sounds like that, and those are diminished chords. Augmented chords are a little bit spooky too, but they're kind of a wide open kind of sound. They're based on the whole tone scale. Maybe if you see a movie about ghosts, you might hear the whole tone scale. And so augmented chords are transition chords too. You might hear this. You've heard that sort of thing a lot. Okay. Then you get into color tones. A color tone is where you add one more note to the triad. Like I can add a 6, and 6 creates a bright sound. Okay, if you put in a 6 in a major chord, it creates a bright sound. Listen. Okay, those are 6. And then there's 7th chords, and they're used. They're pregnant chords because they want to go somewhere else. They want to leave the chord you're on and they want to move up a 4th, okay? So usually if you have a C7th, for example, the next chord will be a 4th higher than C. 1, 2, 3, 4. So C7th will usually resolve to F. It doesn't have to, but it usually is. F7th then would resolve where? Up a 4th from F to B flat. B flat 7th would resolve up a 4th to E flat, and so on. Okay, so seventh chords move you somewhere, usually up a fourth. Okay, and then there's major seventh chords, which create kind of a sleepy, nostalgic sound. And if you want that sound, then you need to learn major seventh chords. Okay, like I say, you don't need to learn any of these chords. You can just use three primary chords, and you can harmonize the majority of songs. But if you want a bigger sound or a better sound, then learn chords like major sevenths. Okay, minor sevenths are very mellow, and if you want a sound like that, that's a minor seventh chord. Actually, I was putting in a ninth chord, so I apologize for that. That's a minor seventh chord. Okay, so they have very mellow. So if you want to improvise using minor seventh, it's a very mellow kind of chord. Okay, and then there's ninth chords. There's major ninth chords like this. Also a dominant ninth that sounds like that. It's a seventh chord with the ninth in it, and you can do that with one hand. If you invert the chord up to second inversion, add a seventh, and then take your finger off the root, put it in a ninth. If you want to play that all in the left hand, for example, you can roll the C triad down there, C, G, E, and then play the ninth like that. Okay, a flat ninth. And that creates that kind of sound. So again, you don't have to learn it, but if you want that kind of sound, then you need to learn it. If you like a flat ninth, and I do, a flat ninth really is pregnant. I mean, it's like due the next day. Okay, it creates a feeling that you need to move right away. Okay, and then there's an 11th, which is kind of like a suspension. It's the 11th note above the root, whatever that is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There's a raised 11th, and then there's a 13th that usually includes an 11th and a 9th. It could include a raised 11th, but usually a regular 11th. Okay, and then there's especially things like the suspension. Suspension is where the fourth takes the place of the third. You've heard this kind of thing. You're ending a song. It's almost like an augmented cadence, but the fourth takes the places of the third. Okay. And then there's slash chords. A slash chord is a chord symbol where, like if you had C7 slash G, it would mean you play the C7th chord, but don't make C the bottom note, make G the bottom note. Okay. And you see slash chords all the time. You can have C7 slash B flat. So B flat's your lowest note, but your chord is C7. And obviously, as you've seen, you can play chords in both hands. You don't have to play them just in one hand. And so it would be worth your while to learn all the chords, and it doesn't take that long really to get a handle on all the basic chord types. Okay, so that's the reason why you should learn various kinds of chords. Like I say, you don't have to. If you're happy just playing three major chords, 1, 4, and 5, more power to you, that's fine. But if you want those other sounds, then you need to learn those other chords. So thanks for being again soon. Bye-bye for now.